All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Hey, if this is your first time here, again, just hit that like button before we get started on anything. Hit that like button. Share this video, guys. Give it a thumbs up. You know, it helps the algorithms. Also, it helps the channel grow. All right. All right. Today, we're going to be doing Rachel, Lindsay, and Bryan Abasolo. Okay. I hope I'm saying his name right. But as you guys know, Rachel Lindsay, she was on The Bachelorette or something like that, right? And of course she got married to Bryan Abasolo. Um, that was on the show. So, and we're gonna take a look at their marriage from an astrological perspective. All right. We're gonna be taking a look at the wedding day and all that stuff. Um, but we're also going to be taking a look at their individual charts. All right. Now, guys, I do not have their birth time. So what we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at their planetary alignments. Okay. That's all. That's all we're going to be looking at. We're not going to be going deep in their charts and all that shit. So, but we're going to be looking at their planetary alignments, particularly the, relationship planets and asteroids and how they made those aspects, okay? And what led them to the divorce. I mean, really, it's a myriad of things that kind of led them to the divorce, but we're going to get to that. Sometimes, look, guys, solar eclipses, they don't always, hit them up right, all right? It'd be little small stuff to add up. It'd be lunar eclipses. It'd be a bunch of lunar eclipses that just stacks up. It just stacks up into a big ass hill or a big mound, and it just collapses. Okay, it collapses the whole entire relationship. So sometimes it's the lunar eclipses that builds up, and that's boom. Okay, and that's it. So and that's what happened with these two. They had a whole bunch of lunar eclipses, and I'm not going to go through all the lunar eclipses, but it's one in particular that actually push the marriage over the edge and kind of cause a divorce, at least from his point of view. All right. I can say that right now. And look, I mean, both of these individuals, I tell you, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna get through it, guys. All right. All right, so check it out. First, we're gonna look at Rachel Lindsay. All right. Make sure you pay attention to the cursor guy right here, guys. I'm circling right now. She was born April 21st, 1985. All right. Of course, we put the time at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. She was born in Dallas, Texas. All right. So, of course, here we go again. We got the Taurus in the house. All right. Her sun is at 1 degree of Taurus. All right. Now, take a look at this, guys. What aspect pops out? Well, you know what? Let's back up a little bit. Look at the Venus. Let's take a look at that Venus, right? Now, guys, we just I think we just looked at what Judge Mathis and his now ex-wife. And what do you guys see? We got this Venus in what? Aries again. All right. Here we go again, guys. And you know what? Both of these individuals, which is kind of unusual, they both have Venus in Aries. All right. Now, what do we say about Venus in Aries? Number one, Venus is in its detriment in Aries. All right. So Venus is very detrimental in Aries. Why? Why is Venus detrimental in Aries, guys? All right. So look, Aries is what? One, right? That deals with singularity. All right. That's number one. All right. So that's that self-love. Okay. If it's in Venus, of course, it's all about that self-love. All right. So, and in her case, it's debilitated twice. All right. Because Venus is what? Retrograde. And what do we say about Venus and Venus that's retrograde, guys? People that got Venus retrograde, they take what? Love for granted. All right. When they take love for granted, that means they don't appreciate the love that the other person gives them. Okay. And that's what happened in this case. She didn't appreciate it. She doesn't know to appreciate it, guys. All right. It's going backwards. All right, it's retrograde. And number two is debilitated because it's what? And it's detriment. So it's very detrimental. This is all about self-love, her loving herself. He got the same thing. He loves himself. You got two people that love themselves very, very much. Okay. So how the hell they gonna give each other love? All right. That's why Venus is in its detriment in Aries. All right, because it's all about self-love. It's not all about giving that love to somebody else. It's all about giving themselves love. All right. So just keep that in mind, guys. Whenever you see Venus in Aries, listen, that person loves themselves a hell of a lot more than they love you, okay? Which we all have that, right? We all have that point in time in life where we got to put ourselves first, right? This is a person that they always putting themselves first, no matter what. There's no sacrifice involved, all right? There's no, wait a minute, you know what? Let me put them first a little bit. Let me put them first just a little tiny bit. No, not at all, guys. This is that Venus in Aries, and don't let it be retrograde like this. Oh no! And as you can see, I mean, when we keep going, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. All right. So that's number one. All right. Number two, what else pops out in this planetary alignment? We got Juno. Of course, Juno deals with what, guys? Marriage and partnerships. All right. It's at 29 degrees. What is that, guys? It's a critical degree. All right. So it's late. So we know that right now it's at a critical degree. And number two, it's debilitated twice as well. It's retrograde. So if you see somebody with this setup, just right off the bat, they're not going to do good in relationships, guys. They're not. Okay. Yes, she got married. All right. But you see what happened, right? He ended in a divorce. He filed. Why did he file? Well, we go get to that. All right. So that right there, just right off the bat, and just look at her Mercury. It's at 7 degrees of Aries. It's both of these planets are in opposition of Juno. Okay, this is opposition. Okay, it may not look like it, but it's in opposition. So you got Venus in opposition of Juno. You got Mercury in opposition of Juno. So, you know, of course, we got the sun is semi-sextile in Mercury and it's semi-sextile in Venus. So, of course, you know, that's a semi-sextile. It's semi-sextile, right? So she kind of wants to be in love, kind of wants to be married, but guys, it's not going to work, right? We all see that right there. Another thing that pops out, look at Mars. Guys, look at Mars now. We got Mars in Taurus right there. All right. Now, oh my God. Now we know Mars in his detriment in Taurus. We know that, right? So we got that going on. And then looking across the way, you got Saturn at 26 degrees in Scorpio. So you got two malefic planets in complete opposition. Okay. That's number one. So, well, that's number 3 and 4. All right. So they're in complete opposition of each other. So just think about that for a moment. All right. So, and we're going to get back to why that kind of contributed to, you know, their relationship and marriage ending. Okay. But that's just her. All right. She does got some good stuff. Okay. She's I think she was an attorney or something like that. So that's cool. And you know, she got this great little stellium up here. So she got some good stuff going on in Taurus. We can see that. Mars is, you know, trine in Neptune. So I mean, she got some good acting ability. So if she wanted to go into acting, that's really good, guys. Really good. But just getting back to the relationship stuff, you know, those particular that particular planetary alignment when it comes to relationships, she may not do well. Okay. Now let's get to his real quick. Let's get to his chart really quick. Bryan Abasolo. He was born February 15, 1980 in Miami, Florida. All right. We see that his sun is, of course, in Aquarius. 26 degrees of Aquarius to be exact. All right. Now, look at his Venus. His Venus is also at 6 degrees of Aries in its detriment. All right. Keep that in mind, guys. Now, his is not retrograde. All right. That's good. But his Juno is retrograde. So we got two people that has Juno retrograde. All right. So now his moon is making an inconjunct to his Juno. Now, I guarantee you, if we was to get his birth time, it's probably still making an inconjunct. All right. It's absolute right there at 12 p.m. But I'm just saying it's probably going to be inconjunct either way. So very unconventional guy. Very different, right? Okay. Does have a square with Uranus right here. So he might have a problem, with trying to be sexual and spontaneous sex. They did have that in common, though. They had spontaneous sex, but it was a little different, okay? It was a little different. So they did have some sexual chemistry, but sometimes it would be off, okay? So we got that going on. We got Mercury right here. It's in Pisces. Of course, it's in his detriment right there. But all in all, he may, I think he's a chiropractor or something like that. So, and that deals with a lot of, medical stuff. So, which is good. So, let's look at their wedding day, guys. All right. Did they get married at the right time? Of course not. Of course not, guys. All right. Of course not. They got married April 24th, 2019. All right. In Cancun, Mexico. All right. Of course, I put the time at damn 2:00. So guys, look at the sun right here. They got married when the sun was at 4 degrees of Taurus. Now, it was a bad day, but they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Now look at Venus. It's at 4 degrees of Aries. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. They got a semi-sextile. So that's good, right? And they was only married, 4 years? What a goddamn coincidence. Isn't that something? They got married when the sun was at 4 degrees of Taurus and when Venus was at 4 degrees of Aries. That's pretty nice, huh? But it's so damn coincidental that they was only married for 4 years with that. You know why, guys? That's the only thing they goddamn had on that day. That's the only thing they had. I mean, of course, they had some other trines or whatnot, but that semi-sextile, they helped them out. That's the only reason they stayed together for 4 years. Because I'll tell you what, everything else, that shit don't look good at all. I mean, look at Juno, guys. Juno is squaring Venus just right off the bat. Okay, we got Venus at 4 degrees of Aries. And again, guys, Venus is in his what? Detriment in Aries. That's another thing. That's what I'm talking about. What did I tell you guys? Guys, listen, you got to get married when Venus is not debilitated, okay? Venus is debilitated right here. This is all self-love. That's what happened in the damn relationship. She loving herself so much, she couldn't be in the damn house. They were so separated from each other. Okay, he irritated her. And I'm about to show you guys how. But she stayed separate from him. When you got Venus and Aries, guys, and both of them have Venus and Aries, but that's all singularity. It's no duality. Okay, that's why it's in his detriment in Aries. All right. So both of them got Venus and Aries. Both of them got a detrimental Venus. Okay, so they could have that love for each other that they should have, right? Now, damn, it's just so crazy, right? Just look at that. Saturn, what is it doing? Not doing too much of nothing, right? The moon is probably squaring Mercury. I'm sure I'm sure it'll still be square if we was to get the real time. So the thinking is not even there. It's dry. The moon is in the Capricorn. It's in a dry sign already. We got Saturn right here. It just doesn't give any type of longevity at all to the relationship, not at all. So, it just on the wedding day, it just has some bad planetary alignment, guys. Now they just wasn't compatible enough to get through it. They just wasn't. And let me just pull her chart back up. And of course, he's gonna be on the outside wheel, guys. So take a look at this, and this is what kind of and I hope you guys can see this. I'm gonna point this out. And this is a teachable moment for you guys. So, as you guys know, look at his sun right here, and I'm circling his sun. It's at 26 degrees of Aquarius. You guys see that? So he's on the outside wheel. She's on the inside. Now, I'm about to toggle back to her natal so-called chart. What do you guys see? All right. She got, what did I say about Mars? Of course, we got Mars right here, right? We got Mars right here. Of course, is in his detriment at 26 degrees of Taurus, right? So we know she hella stubborn, and we talked about that stubbornness, right? And then we got Saturn right here at 26 degrees of Scorpio. It's retrograde, so we know she ain't submissive at all. I'll tell you that right now. Now he's unconventional anyway, so he's not looking for anything traditional. All right. However, his sun is at 20. What it was? Let's see. It's at 20. His sun is at, let's get 26 degrees of Aquarius. So her Mars and her Saturn creates a T-square to his sun. That right there, guys. I mean, you got two of her malefic planets creating a square to his sun. So anytime you have someone's Mars squaring that person's sun, they're gonna be arguing. Okay, they're gonna have tension. Mars rules arguments. Okay, that square is tension all in itself. And then you got Mars is already in his detriment in Taurus. Okay, and then you got the sun in Aquarius. His sun is in Aquarius already. That's in his detriment too, by the way. All right. So that's number one. So you got two planets squaring each other in his detriment. All right. So that in itself, guys, that's going to create so many arguments. And that's probably the reason she probably stayed away from him like she did. Because he always irritated her. That's irritation. Mars rules irritation. Now, if his sun, the sun is him. That's him. That's him right there. Okay, that's squaring her Mars. They're gonna always be arguments. So they didn't have conflict resolution skills. They did not have good conflict resolution skills. It's no way they could have survived with that T-square, guys. So sometimes, and what really happened, it was a lunar eclipse in 2022. That's what took it really over the edge. That lunar eclipse, of course, is basically a full moon, guys. It's when the sun and the moon is in complete opposition, but it's along with the nodes. Okay, that's a lunar eclipse, and it lasts 6 months to a year. All right, that's the energy of that. So that eclipse occurred, I think, at 25 degrees of Taurus. Okay, so that was a complete, that lunar eclipse that created a T-square with his sun. Okay, along with her Mars and Saturn. So that really took it over the edge. He was like, wait a minute, you ain't never home. It's like, are we married? It kind of, what a lunar eclipse does, it shines light on the problem, okay? And the problem was, she ain't there. And he had to realize that. He was like, wait a minute. This woman is never at home with me. He had to come to that conclusion, guys. He didn't realize it, because remember, they're celebrities, so they all in the spotlight. He got his thing going on. She got her thing going on. Remember, their Venuses are what? In Aries. So you got a lot of singularity. So you got a lot of individuality going on and not enough what? Duality. Does that make sense? So that's what was going on with them. So, they just wasn't together. And that's what he complained about. He was like, wow, I mean, she was never home with me. And he complained about that in the divorce filings. Yeah, and you guys see how now. Okay. So, but she was irritated by him all the time. Okay. And she realized that, but she kept it a damn secret. All right. So that she just kept it a secret from him. She didn't tell him that, he irritated her. I mean, the things that he did irritated her. I mean, she didn't know. I mean, actually, with his node, he got his north node right here. It created a damn grand fixed square with her Saturn and her Mars. So, I mean, damn. Whew, Lord. I mean, when it's fixed like that, guys, I mean, it's like sealed. It's like solid. So it's solid irritation, constant irritation from him. All right. She'll never probably come out and say that. She might come out and say that. Who knows? But it was always something that she would be on the defense about, okay, with him. I mean, it was good. I mean, they had some good stuff. I mean, look at this. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough trines, guys. Okay, so like I said, they both got Venus in Aries. Okay, so both of them got that. That was cool, right? Let's see. It went all bad. Mostly it was bad though. All right. They got the conjunction with Jupiter right here. His sun is making a conjunction to Jupiter, but sometimes that can be detrimental because look, they had Jupiter separates. Okay, it creates space because it's expansive, right? So it creates distance. That's what the hell they had. They had distance between them. Although we see a conjunction right here, yeah, they had a distance between them. And look at the look at the orb. You got 26 degrees. It's a wide conjunction, but I mean it's conjunction nevertheless. But look at the degrees. I mean, her Jupiter is at 14 degrees of Aquarius. His sun is at 26 degrees of Aquarius. So I mean, they had that, and then they had a conjunction. I mean, he had his moon probably 16 degrees or whatever. It could have been at 14 degrees. That made a conjunction with her Jupiter. I mean, so they had some good stuff. And again, when I had said that sexual chemistry, they had some, good sexual chemistry, a little bit. It was spontaneous. That spontaneous love stuff, spontaneous sexual tension. His Uranus is at 25 degrees of Scorpio. And of course, that her Saturn is at 26 degrees of Scorpio. But again, you got his Aquarius in opposition of her Mars. Again, that's what I'm talking about. Good God. The only good thing they had, it lasted 4 years because of that semi-sextile on a wedding day. And then they had Saturn right here. His Saturn is at 25 degrees of Virgo, all right? And her Juno is at 29 degrees of Virgo. So that's a good conjunction along with his Lilith. So they created, in a way, a perfect environment, okay? So it felt perfect, okay? That's what it was, okay? So when they was on that show, it felt perfect because of that Saturn and Juno conjunction. It felt perfect. It felt down to earth because his Saturn trined her Mars. So it kind of felt down to earth. Both of them felt down to earth to each other, and it kind of felt solid. That's that Saturn in Virgo, that earthy type feeling with her Mars in Taurus, which is what? Another earthy type thing. All right. So it felt really earthy. It felt down to earth. It felt right. So Virgo always pushes for perfection. So it kind of felt good and perfect for him. But unfortunately, it was not. All right. And again, they have some good stuff. And again, look at that Saturn. His Saturn is retrograde. her Juno is retrograde. So it's almost like they're going backwards. Again, it's going backwards. So instead of the relationship and marriage having time, it's going backwards. It's going the opposite direction of time. It's deleting time, isn't it? Because it's going backwards, guys. Again, that retrograde. So now her Juno, 16 degrees of Cancer, is retrograde. It created a nice little trine with his. Well, that's him. I'm sorry about that. That's him. His Juno is at 16 degrees of Cancer. It's retrograde. Created a nice little trine with her South Node at 18 degrees. So, I mean, so to her, well, to him, she kind of felt like somebody from the past life. And again, he's thinking like, man, this feel like I know you already. Again, that's that perfect environment that was kind of created. So it wasn't all damn bad, but it was bad. All right. It was still bad, guys. So, but that big ass T square, guys, that's what did it. I just wanted to show you guys what happened with them two. Okay. What happened was it was just too much tension between them. Okay. Anytime you have somebody's Mars in a square position with your sun, or your sun is squaring their Mars, it's always going to be tension. And if you guys can't figure out how to lower the tension or smooth out the tension or smooth out that square, it's always going to be arguments, guys. So, and that's what happened with them. It was always tension between them. Sometimes that tension you can turn that tension into sexual tension, but you can't do that forever. All right. So you got to have conflict resolution. They had no conflict resolution skills. So therefore, somebody had to call quits, and it was him. And he was like, listen, this woman ain't never home. He didn't understand why. And it is what it is. So that's what happened with them. His sun is also in conjunct to her Juno. So it was just it was not enough trines, guys. And we've looked at relationships where it was trines and they overcame them squares. It was no way for them to overcome this T square. Okay, this square that they had, they couldn't overcome it. If you guys see people in relationships and you see these squares like this, if they don't have enough trines or if they're not compatible to overcome those squares, they're not going to make it. All right. A solar eclipse is going to take their relationship out, or a lunar eclipse is going to take it out. Somehow it's going to get taken out. It might be taken out by one of those malefic outer planets like Pluto or Neptune or something like that. But just something brief about these two guys, because this is the reason they're not together, unfortunately. All right, it's because of that square they had. It's too argumentative. All right, it's too much tension. All right, so that's the deal with Rachel Lindsay and Bryan Abasolo. Of course, they're probably going to try to get back on the high horse and date again. Hopefully they learn their lessons, from this. Hopefully they even watch this video and try to give, they can overcome those detrimental planetary setups that they got. All right. Some people can do that because it's just a lesson, guys. So if you got Venus, in areas like that, instead of just doing the self-love all the time, give somebody else some love, some attention. They can overcome that stuff easily. Okay. They just have to learn themselves. All right. So that's it for them. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.